Hello, 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 hello. Guys, is the sound coming properly? Guys, is this? Hello, hello, hello. Okay, wait a minute. Uh, no problem. I will continue it. I will do it again. No issue. Just let me give it to the story. Watch this. I think it is working fine. The sound is coming properly, right? Hello, 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 hello. Right. So, welcome guys again. My previous stream was lacking sound or maybe too much sound, and I hope the sound is coming clean. No issue in sound quality, right? And I hope I can do it again. So, as we know that in today's time, the world is too uncertain. Okay. And one country is in fight with another country and things are changing because of these things. For example, the fight which is happening in Middle East, right? It is affecting India also, which is affecting us. So we must be always prepared for any type of conflict. And that is why today I will try to talk about the power of India and specifically the military power of India, who uses weapons, the soldiers who will and who uses weapons in the battlefield, and what are the weapons, how are the weapons made, and what is the quality of those weapons compared to other countries like USA, China, Russia, right? And first we will talk we will talk about the factories which are in India and what are the factories. These factories are divided into three types. Okay, so there are three types of factories. The sound is coming okay, right? Let me check again. Let me be clear. So, first one is the ordnance factories. Right. The ordnance factories. The ordnance factories are, you can say, ex government owned factories. Okay. Second one is the defense public sector undertaking. In short, EPSU. These are also government controlled factories. Next one is the private players, right? Private factories. These are controlled by corporations. 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 Right. So let me first talk about the meaning of this ordinance. Ordinance means, I forgot. Okay. What was the meaning? I remembered. Wait. The meaning. So I'm using ChatGPT to get the meaning. Right, I remember. Right. Ordnance means basically the guns or the rifles. Okay. Those are ordnance. So these ordnance factories mainly create basic weapons like guns or factories, right? So this ordnance includes guns and rifles, which are mainly small scale weapons. Okay, so that this is what ordnance is. We have heard many areas like in Ichapur, there is a factory, right? Rifle factory, and there mainly the guns and rifles are made. Okay, this level of weapons are made in this type of factories, ordnance factories. Now, these ordnance factories have their own seven new parts, and I will talk about it later. And the second one was defense public sector undertaking, right? That these are also government controlled factories and the private factories. So, what are the ordnance factories? For example, the Munitions India Limited, right? And they focuses on making ammunition and explosives. So, what is this ammunition? Ammunition is basically the fuel of a weapon. Okay, imagine I am carrying a gun. Okay, and the gun, when I shoot this, the gun releases bullets, right? So this is the gun, and this gun releases bullets, as we know. So these bullets are the ammunition. Okay. Another example, imagine the artillery, which let me show you. Okay. So this artillery, okay, this artillery is also like a gun, but this gun is a bigger gun, right? These are not like rifles, typical rifles. These are big guns, and these guns releases just like this type of bullets. But the scale of those bullets obviously will be very large, like maybe 10 times more than the size of the small bullets. Okay, so this R, which means the bullets, are ammunition. So that this is basically the fuel of a weapon. Okay, without ammunition, there is no value of a gun or artillery. This artillery, right? So you need the fuel to no for the function of weapons, right? So Munitions India Limited Munitions India Limited make mainly ammunition and explosives. Then Armored Vehicles Nigam Limited, they make tanks and armored vehicles. Okay. Advanced Weapons and Equipment India Limited, they make small arms and artillery. I showed you artillery before that. And small arms meaning small level guns. Okay. Which I showed you earlier. The typical guns like AK-47. So AK-47 is a arm and it can also be called small arm in my view. And this type of weapons are made by Advanced Weapons and Equipment India Limited. I'm not saying AK-47, but like AK-47, this type of weapons are made here. Then Troop Comforts Limited, clothing and gear for soldiers. So, as we know that soldiers need uniforms, they need gears, and this type of company like Troop Comforts Limited, their focus is on making those gears. Next one is India Optel Limited, optics and targeting systems. Okay, what is targeting systems? I do not know. I will say to it later. Then Gliders India Limited, parachutes and aerial delivery systems. Okay, so if you look closely, these are not today's advanced level weapons. Okay, they focuses on rifles, okay, guns, then gears. Okay, so which can say us, no, which can tell us that when we talk about big tanks or when we talk about big aeroplanes or when we talk about big fighter jets or when we talk about big bombs or when we talk about big missiles or when we talk about other things, those are not focused by this ordnance factories, right? But they are important. They are important, but not so much important like other corporations which will come later. Now, the defense public sector undertakings. Okay, these are also government owned factories, but these factories make advanced level weapons. What do I mean by that? Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, they make aircraft, helicopters. Okay. Bharat Electronics Limited, they make radars and electronics. Then Bharat Dynamics Limited, they make missiles. Mazagon Dock Shipbuilders Limited, they make warships and submarines. Garden Ridge Shipbuilders and Engineers, they make naval ships. Goa Shipyard Limited, they make petrol vessels. VEML Limited, they make military vehicles and equipment. And Mishra Dhatu Nigam, special alloys and material. Now, let me talk about special alloys, right? Special alloys are basically special materials needed to make this advanced weapons. Okay, then military vehicles. Imagine you are in a place and you are in the streets and you are seeing some big green colored vehicle where the army is driving that vehicle. Okay. So this vehicle, what exactly it does? It carries soldiers for effective transportation. Also, in the above section, you can see that there is a place to hold guns, right? So it is designed in such a way that military officers can sit there, okay? Then there are drivers and a person who can sit beside that driver. And also, when in an emergency situation, the person in the top can hold gun and shoot anyone, right? So it is designed in such a way that it is very crucial to tackle difficult circumstances and to tackle changing circumstances also, right? So these military vehicles and equipment are made by BEML, okay, and also naval ships. Like for example, INS Vikram, we have heard about it. At least I have heard about it. So this INS Vikram is a naval ship, right? And this type of ships are made by this corporation. Then submarines, okay. Then missiles. All these are made by these companies in India. Now, here, what is the difference between the what is the difference between the ordnance factories and this uh, the defense public sector undertakings? You can see the ordnance factories focuses on guns and rifles, and this type of factories focuses on missiles, which is a very big size weapon. Okay, next submarines, which is also very big. Then military vehicles, also very big. Okay, then aircraft, meaning the helicopters and the other things like fighter jets. All these big size weapons, big size vehicles are all made by these corporations, which are controlled by government only. Now, what are the private players doing? And that we need to see. So, the private defense companies, private defense companies, okay, company Tata Advanced Systems, their main focus is to build weapons related to aerospace and defense systems, right? Larsen and Tobler, their main focus is to build submarines, artillery systems, right? Adani Defense and Aerospace, their goal is to make their focus areas are UAVs, weapons, and electronics. Electronics, what is electronics here? Today's drones need semiconductor chips or microchips. These microchips are very crucial so that this drone works. Microchips are also needed in computer, also in laptop, also in smartphones. But mainly drones, you also need microchips. And these chips are made by this type of companies, right? Adani Defense and Aerospace makes these microchips which are used to make drones and which are or will be used in the conflict area or in the battlefield. For example, in Ukraine and Russia's war, the conflict, Ukraine used this type of, not this type, but they used drones. Okay, they used drones to attack Russian soldiers. So drones are used and will be used, and India also need drones. And these drones, these semiconductor chips, are made by Adani Defense and Aerospace and other corporations, right? And another point is, if you look at carefully, big corporations like Tata, then Adani, and Mahindra, okay, so these three corporations are making advanced weapons in India. So very, very concentrated area and very concentrated corporations are making this type of weapons. Is it a good thing? I do not know. But one thing is clear that they are trying to control the whole weapon market for private players. This three private players who are also in different industries are having a big hand in weapon industry also, right? So now, okay, the point is that weapons have different elements, okay? There are missiles, there are guns, there are rifles, there are bombs, there are nuclear missiles, nuclear bombs, okay, and there are fighter jets, okay, there are submarines, and there are naval ships. Many things come under weapons. And as we know that weapons are nothing but machines. Okay. If you think it carefully, that every weapon is like a machine or is a machine. The gun is nothing but a machine. You are pressing a trigger. Okay. Okay. You are holding a gun and you are pressing this button, and after that the bullets come out, and those bullets travel like this. Okay, and suppose it is my body, and these bullets are traveling, and if that bullet hits my body, then my body cannot take it, and the body cannot take it, and the bullet will be inside my body, right? And the force which my body cannot take is being implemented by these bullets, and that is the power of a gun. It can destroy a human body, human being. Similarly, there are many machines which can help a human being, also can destroy other people. And weapons, maybe it can help other people, but it can also destroy other people. That is the power and dangerous element of weapons. Now, there are many advanced weapons in India. Okay. For example, BrahMos. Okay. What is BrahMos? So, okay. So it is a AI generated image. It is not actually captured by cameras. It is generated by artificial intelligence and mainly ChatGPT. Okay. So let's focus on BrahMos. Okay. What is this BrahMos? If you look at it carefully, it is like a truck. Okay. And there is a storage like area. Okay. And from this area, missiles comes out. Okay, like this. And this is the missile. So this is what BrahMos is. It is the name of this missile, BrahMos. Okay. What is the effect of this? That I cannot show you, but I will try to show you later. But in my view, this BrahMos, when this big missile, okay, hits a target, okay, how will the person die? And if a small bullet hits a human body, how will the person die? And if we compare these two things, we will see that the force of the bullet is far lesser than the force of this missile. Okay, the destruction which this missile can cause is far lesser than the destruction which this BrahMos can cause. Right? So that is BrahMos. And as you can see, BrahMos supersonic cruise missile, right? It is a missile, Mach 2.8 to 3, precision strike, land, sea, air launch. So it can target in land, right? It can target a tank, for example, or it can target in sea, meaning it can target a naval ship, or it can target a fighter jet or other things, right? So, in short, it can target both, no, this land areas, land weapons or land vehicles, ships or fighter jets or helicopters. It can cover anything, anywhere. It can go to anywhere, right? So that is BrahMos. Next one. Okay, uh, let me clarify. Okay, let me clarify. Okay, no, no. Okay, no issue. Okay, let me clarify. One thing is what are these missiles? Why am I showing these things? These are the main or big advanced weapons which are mostly created in India. Okay. As we know that there are many weapons which are in India are created by other countries and they are exported, meaning they have came from other countries. Okay, wait a minute. Um, it came on. I tried, but okay, I will do it. Okay, right. So where was I? Yes. So these are the weapons which are created in India, and these weapons are mostly created in India. Sorry, I was wrong. It is not entirely created in India. Still, many things are created in India. So that is the strength here. And we know that many countries create weapons, and India is a big exporter of weapons, meaning they take weapons from different countries. They take weapons which are created by different countries and uses in their military, right? But many weapons are also being created in India, right? And that is what was BrahMos. That is what was BrahMos. Okay. Next, similarly, Agni-Veer. It is a long-range nuclear-capable missile and 5,000 kilometer radius. Okay. So it covers a range of 5,000 kilometer. Okay. And it is a nuclear missile which is built in India. And how does it look? Let me show you. So see, it is also AI generated, but I hope it is very accurate. Close, very close. So this is uh, this was the yes. So this is Agni B and it looks like this, right? It is like a rocket, right? So that is Agni B. Next, fighter aircraft. Okay. Before that, Agni B, it is a long-range nuclear-capable missile, key part of India's strategic deterrence. What is deterrence? Deterrence is, in my view, one type of fear element, right? It is to clear a fear in your opponent that you can also attack. You can also provide damage to them. So, in my view, that is deterrence. Okay, to create a fear element so that you are not attacked. I might be wrong, but I think it is deterrence. So, this Agni Veer has been created in India. That were the missiles. These are the fighter aircrafts. All Tejas, indigenous, indigenous fighter jet built by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Modern avionics, radar, and weapons. Okay, how does it look? See, so these weapons, or if I say clearly, this is a fighter jet. Okay, this is what a fighter jet is. It looks like this. I have seen many things in American TV shows, or I would say that American movies, and this is what a fighter jet looks like. And here it is called forgot Hull Tejas. Okay, so this is what Hull Tejas, and it is created in India. Okay. Next one is air defense systems. Akash missile system protects against enemy aircraft and drones. Fully developed in India. Okay, let me focus on naval power. Okay, ships. Today's ships or today's warships. You can call them warships. Okay, and that is what INS Vikrant is, a naval ship. Okay, India's first indigenous aircraft carrier. Okay, India's first indigenous aircraft carrier built by Cochin Shipyard Limited can carry fighter jets and helicopters. So this INS Vikrant, or let me show you that. Yes. Okay, wait. It is not accurate, but it will help you to understand. Okay, it is not accurate, but I hope it will help you to understand this. So, here, fighter jets, states, also helicopters. And when they want to go to a different location, they can take off from this ship and they can go like this. Okay. Similarly, a helicopter can go like this, right? So helicopters, fighter jets can take off from this area. And INS Vikrant, it was also used in 1971 India Pakistan war. I remembered this because I have seen, no, I have listened about this. So 1971 India Pakistan war. So the strength element of this is completely or not completely but very much done by India, right? And this is the strength. Okay, another. Suppose UAV. Okay, long endurance surveillance drone developed by Defense Research and Development Organization. I think it is not accurate. Is it accurate depiction? Okay, I am not sure about this. I think it is better to leave this. Let's not focus on this. Let's focus on the next part, and that is okay. This is Akash missile system. Okay, it is like BrahMos only, but as you can see, it can carry one, two, three, four missiles, right? Right. So it can carry four missiles. Okay, and BrahMos I think mainly carries one to two missiles. But I think BrahMos as an individual missile is very strong compared to Akash missile systems. Mainly Akash missile systems missiles. So those are the missiles, fighter jets and ships which are built in India mainly. Right? Now, what did I show you guys? I showed you about the different types of factories which are in India, right? I also showed you the different weapons this type, no, this companies make. I also showed you what weapons did India make, not entirely, but very much. No weapons can be made entirely because as we know that the global world, no, the global economy is too much connected, right? This and global economy is too much connected. Never believe that India is only making weapons. United States make weapons. China makes weapons. Russia makes weapons. Okay. India exports weapons from USA. Also, India exports weapons from Russia. I do not know about China, but also United China imports lots of weapons to the world. Also, China imports weapons from the world, right? But India is a big player in exporting weapons. Okay, so India has some basics. Let me show you that. Wait a minute. It was there, right? Yes. Okay. I forgot to show you this. So, major weapons manufacturing centers in India, government and private defense factories. So, Jammu has these things. Ahmedabad. Can you guys see? I think you can see. And Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, Chennai, Coimbatore, Kolkata, Jabalpur, Nagpur. So, red one is ordnance factories. The basic weapons which are made in India are this areas. This areas. Okay. And the DPSUs and private defense plants are the yellow ones. So here the advanced level weapons are made. Okay. So okay. Shoda. Hello Shoda. Okay, Shoda, if you have any question or anything to say, you can write. Okay, let me focus on yes. So So, as I showed you, there are many places in India where we can find these factories, and these factories make these weapons, as I showed you earlier. But my point is that India does not make weapons entirely. Okay, it is also a country where it gets weapons from other countries like Russia, right? Russia is a very big exporter of weapons to India. It exports many weapons to India. Okay. And also United States. Okay, guys, if you have questions related to this topic, you can ask, right? So, next we are going to talk about the main part which I was waiting for. Okay, let's. Oh, no, no. Wait, guys. Uh, so, okay, let's discuss some budget thing. Okay, as you know that to create a weapon, you need money for that, and Indian government in 2026 to 2027 budget, mainly in defense, what exactly they had written? They had promised 7.85 lakh crore allocated to the Ministry of Defense in Union Budget 2026 to 2027, the highest among all ministries. Okay. So, as we know that there is Home Affairs, okay, then there is External Affairs, then there is uh, what? Then there is Finance, then there is Education. These are all ministries, okay? And out of all ministries, Defense Ministry got the highest money allocated to them. 7.85 lakh crore, meaning that 785 lakh crores went to the defense ministry. Okay. So also the allocation marks a 15.9% increase over the 2025 to 2026 budget estimates and accounts for 14.67% of total central government expenditure. So if 100% is there, meaning 100% of total expenditure, then 14.67% goes to the defense of this country, of India, right? So, so you can imagine that uh, lots of money goes to the defense area. And what exactly happens? As we know that a soldier need salary, right? So when a army officer fights in the border, right? When they fight against other countries, or in the past they have fought with Pakistan, also China. So this army officers need money, and government gives money to those people. And defense minister Rajnath, I forgot his name, Rajnath something. Okay, the defense minister of India is the main head of Ministry of Defense. Okay, and the people or the soldiers they get salary, so money goes there. Also, after the retirement of an army officer, we also need to give them money. That is what pension is, right? And pension also money was there. Next, the maintenance costs. For example, to maintain a big military vehicle, or to maintain a big naval ship, or to maintain a big fighter jet, you also need some money to maintain, right? So also money goes to maintenance of these vehicles or military vehicles. So money goes there. Now, uh, if anyone has any question, you can ask in the comment box. I will try to answer this. If anyone has to say anything, write in the comment. Then I can also know what you are thinking. Am I clear about this? Okay. So maintenance, right? Then pension, then salary. Also, you need to give money to the soldiers. Also, you need to give money to the engineers so that they build these weapons, big ships, big cars, right? Also, they build roads, build infrastructures can not happen without cost, without funding. And that is why defense got so much money. And as I wrote earlier, that 14.6 percentage overall goes to the defense, which is a huge chunk, right? Huge chunk goes to the defense sector. 1.3 lakh crore earmark for procurement from domestic defense industries. Rupees 12,100 crore allotted to the ex-servicemen contributory health scheme in future 2026-27, 45.49% higher than future year 2025-26 at BE stage. Allocation to mainly defense research, DRDO, defense research increased to 29,100 crores in 2026 to 2027 from 26,800 crore in 25-26. So if I create a rough graph, right, and this is 2025 to 2026, right, and this is 2026 to 2027, right? What can I see? This research for research 20,000 crore, right? Imagine it is 25,000, it is 30,000. So almost this part, which is rupees 29,100 crore, and this part, which is rupees 26,816 crore. So you can see the increase in the spending, and around 2,000 crores have been increased in this 1 year, and they all went to research. And what is this research? So imagine you need to create a new technology, okay, which will help to build new weapons. But how can you build new technology? You need to do some research, right, about weapons and about other things, and then only you can build new technologies, new weapons. And there is an increase in this research, which is a good thing. But is this research sufficient? Because as we know that India does not create advanced weapons, which the United States and China also, and even Russia makes. So where is the gap? That I must find. And also 1.39 lakh crore earmark for procurement from domestic defense industries. Okay, let me show you another thing. Uh, Wait. So, okay. So let me show you one thing. Wait a minute. Okay. In the defense spending in 2023 to 2024, the defense spending was 5.94 lakh crore. Okay. Then 2024 to 25 year, it went, it became 6.21 lakh crore. Then 2025 to 2026 year, it went 6.81 lakh crore. So if we make a rough graph and 2023, 24, 2025, 24, 25, 26. Then 5, 6. Okay, 5, 6, and 5, 6, 7. So this 5.94 like this was India's government government spending on defense, mainly for making weapons, for taking care of soldiers like that. And in 2024 to 26, 6.21 lakh. And in 2025 to 2026, 6.81. So you can see an increase, right? So what we can conclude from that is the defense spending got increased from 2023 to 2025, right? But the actual question is, do the quality of soldiers increase and do the quality of weapons increase? That is what we need to do. And also, now first, need okay, right. And from this, around one also out of this money, right? The defense industry or the defense industry, yes, the defense industry mm, were focusing on the Indian manufacturers, right? Not the outside manufacturers. As we know that India India is a large exporter of weapons, meaning India exports weapons, meaning gets weapons from different or from various countries. One of them is USA, another big country who gives India weapons is Russia, and also France and also UK and so on, etc. Right? And we are highly dependent on these countries. If one of these countries stop giving us weapons, then we cannot fight wars. Okay, we cannot fight wars or we cannot stop wars, right? In order to make peace, you also need weapons. You also need weapons in your side. You also need strength in your side, right? If you do not have your own weapons and if other countries stop giving you weapons, then what will you do? That is a very important question. And I think the leaders knew that, and that is why they focused on making domestic weapons. And in recent years, 75% of money which of total money for manufacturing weapons for manufacturing or manufacturing but money for weapons went to Indian manufacturers or Indian players, right? Indian manufacturers or Indian players. Okay, let me come here. No, wait a minute. Wait, guys, wait. 1 minute. Charge is over. Right. Hello, hello, hello. Right, yes. So, 75% of total money, right? 75% of total money for weapons went to Indian manufacturers or Indian players, right? Meaning that uh, the Indian government is not focusing on getting weapons from different countries. They are focusing on getting weapons from their own people, right? Which is, I would say, it is a very challenging task because we are not very much competent in terms of creating great and advanced weapons for military. And our military is also not advanced or competitive like Chinese military or American military. How can I say that? First, we have to remember that the American military has tremendous power in terms of weapon field, right? America is the number one exporter of weapons in the whole world. Okay. And they have advanced drones, they have advanced missiles, and they are creating new AI machines, meaning AI weapons. Okay. Then they have advanced radar systems. Okay. They have satellites in their side. They have many things, and which is obviously influencing Indians. And to tackle this, we also need to be upgraded. We also need to be powerful because in this time, America is very unpredictable country in my view, and they are constantly fighting against many countries. And the main thing is right now, Iran and America is in a conflict mode, and fights can always escalate and can reach to different countries. For example, imagine America is fighting against Iran, and then Iran is fighting against America. Then China started to fight against America. Then Russia joined. Then America needs allies from NATO. That will be very much deadly because America has 5,000 nuclear weapons, nuclear bombs in their area, and Russia has also 5,000 nuclear weapons. India also has, but these two countries can completely destroy the whole world if they are in a war with each other, right? China has 600 weapons, but China still has many capabilities, which is far greater than India. And as India, we need big advanced weapons. So we need to build weapons and we need to give weapons to different countries, not get weapons, meaning we have to give weapons to different countries, not get only weapons from USA or Russia. We have to give weapons to Russia, we have to give weapons to America, and not only take. But how can we do that? The only way we need to be more research oriented country. Also, we need more innovation, which we are lacking. For example, for example, let me summarize what exactly I have talked here, right? I was in the exporting part, yes, right, exporting part. Why exporting part? Because weapons are not only for keeping in a corner. Weapons are used to put fear in your opponent, right? And we, India, has opponents or enemies like Pakistan or China, right? And to tackle them, we need advanced weapons because Pakistan, if has advanced weapons and have better weapons than us, then they will be in an advantage. They can always put pressure on us, and we will be unable to put pressure on Pakistan. Similarly, China now has advanced weapons, and they are putting pressure. They are influencing us, and India also needs to influence Pakistan, China. And how can India do that? By building better weapons, more advanced weapons, more deadly weapons, and more advanced people, meaning more powerful people who will use those weapons against Chinese military, right? So this thing must be changed. And for that, we need to do certain things. First, creating an environment to create more technologies. So, what do I mean by that? Right. India is far below. India is far in below side in terms of research, in terms of science related fields. And they are very weak in research areas. We need to be strong, right? But the culture here is not to innovate or not to create, but to obey, right? For example, to create a weapon, you need to understand the structure, right? The uses. But how can you understand the structure if you do not understand the science, right? And if you do not understand the science, if you do not have the courage to understand the science element, right? The function of that machine or weapon, how can you build new structures? How can you build new technologies? And I think Indians lack this, right? Because Chinese were able to create new robots. Chinese were able to create deep sea. Chinese were able to create new technologies, but Indians are unable to create technologies. You Indians are lacking in drone technologies. So India must P. Focus on AI drones. In AI drones, AI information systems, right? Three, India must increase their nuclear warheads. So, as I said earlier, that USA has more than 5,000 nuclear warheads, and Russia has also more than 500 nuclear, more than 5,000 nuclear warheads, and India has around 180 nuclear warheads, which is very low compared to India and Russia. So we need to increase that. India must increase their nuclear warheads. So putting money is important, but utilizing that money efficiently and effectively is more important, right? Yes, DRDO, okay, defense research. Government has put money into that sector or into that area. But are this money will this money be used effectively and efficiently? And from that, new new research reports will be created, or will there be a very less valuable reports created from this? And that will affect the new technologies, and that will make us more weak. In the other hand, the Americans or the Chinese, they're completely making new research, they're completely making new things, and that is making them more stronger, which is making us very weak. But what is the issue here? The issue is about governance, right? And also the issue of us, the common public of India. We need to be more aware. And for that, I will talk about in the next video, and I will try to talk about more about how these weapons are made and how Chinese weapons and how Americans and how Russia's weapons are made and how this global world look like. Next video, I will go a little bit deeper. I hope I was clear, and next video I will talk about it. Also, I will talk about the current situation in the Middle East. So thanks for watching, and I hope I see you in the next. Thanks for today.